Guys in the Golf.
What do you want to start with, Bruce?
Oh, how's this weather, mate?
Oh, average in a lot of ways.
Oh, it's been pretty good today. It's been nice today.
Yeah, well, we had a little shower come through, little bit of a storm. We had a few branches down through camp, 2 nights ago, two evenings ago. We were over at Big Pete's house there. And a massive storm front come through. Like we got a little tiny drizzle, but no rain really out of it. But it was enough to scare Katie. And then there are all these little branches all around camp.
Well, I think yesterday was the first day we haven't had a storm for about 5 days, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon.
So we've like every afternoon, just about we've got something. So it's been good. Keeping the ducks happy, mate.
Yeah, there's been a few ducks around.
Yeah, just got to try and work out how to catch them now.
Yeah.
No, it's closed duck season. No ducks allowed.
Oh, right, yeah.
But yeah, plenty of ducks around though. We went fishing the other morning, mate. There was 200 ducks in the sand at the front of the boat ramp.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever seen ducks down there before.
And their game too. They were sitting right there on the edge.
Yeah. Mullet's not here though, so they're pretty right. I did. There was a story from Darwin about ducks that might have involved someone that we know.
Oh, really? Do I know it?
Oh, I don't know if I told you or if the boys told you, but
is it safe for the podcast or?
Oh yeah.
Send it.
The statute of limitations. What do they call it?
Statute of limitations.
The statute of limitations runs out of duck wrangling, I think, after 12 months. Nah, I don't know who it was, mate. I just heard the story.
Yeah.
But the boys did have
keep using the word allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah. Allegedly, the boys acquired a heap of ducklings, and when I asked how they did that, there was put it this way, there was a minivan and a cast net involved.
Oh no. Perfect.
Minivan come to a screeching halt, and then the cast net came out through the through the roll back door. And caught all the ducklings, allegedly.
Yeah, cool. Well, folks, you're listening to or watching the Guys in the Golf podcast. I'm Mikey Cunningham, and this is Ash Garner. We've been doing this for probably a year and a half or so now. We've up to episode 30-something.
Something like that, mate.
Yeah.
Getting a few out.
Yeah, so we've been enjoying ourselves. To be honest, we're just trying to kill time right now until the beers in the esky are cold. Just seeing us sitting here dry with it must be getting bloody close.
Thanks, Big Pete, for the sponsor, mate. We're still waiting for one of them beer companies to come through for us and sponsor some cans.
You've been watching, I don't know, I have heaps of that, what's the name of the Traveller beers with that
Travis. Yeah.
Timmel? Yeah. Ragnar. Yeah, he's advertising is unreal. Yeah, like going out of BWSs with bloody on a horse and horse and cart.
Well, I'll tell you, I like his big punt that he had cruising up the river.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah. And he's off delivering, what's his tagline? People give him a hard time and he go, I can't remember what it was. But going up the river delivering cartons of Traveller. In the punt. Yeah, it's a nice punt.
We don't have any of that because you can't buy it here. Yet.
Not yet. Someone needs to get us in contact with him, because I reckon
right up our alley.
I reckon he's right up our alley. He seems to like it out on the water. One of the boys. There you go. It's cold enough, eh?
Oh, it'll have to be, mate. Close.
Excellent.
Put it on ice 3 minutes ago. I'll tell you what, that is one thing living out here, and we'll get to questions later, but I did see a question about pricing and stuff like that with stuff. But one thing living out here, it's you've got to be organised, and evidently more organised than us because we've run out of beer again. Is that microphone cutting off a lot more than it normally would? Yeah,
I reckon it's got like some sort of noise gate on it or something. I'm not sure what the deal is there.
Mikey's been playing around with stuff. And
I did. Well, I did a software update on this.
Well, that might be what it is, eh? Because if I sit over here, it cuts out.
Yeah, it's like a noise gate. Yeah.
Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so you need to be a little bit more organised than what we are, evidently, because we've run out of beer again.
Yeah.
So we did have a few at the bar last night. a few schooners. But yeah, then we had to go rob Big Pete's stash until the supplies arrive tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we robbed his stash last night as well after the pub.
Actually, after the pub, we went to Big Pete's and had a couple of beers as well.
A couple of Coronas, little Corona fest. Yeah, no, but we've got Mick back, Bullfrogs Mick.
Oh, I don't know if it is. I think it's his brother or cousin or something. I don't know. I'm not convinced.
He looks like a stallion at the moment.
Oh, he does. It looks like a bushranger is what he looks like.
Yeah. So we'll hopefully have a few adventures coming up with him soon.
Oh, I hope so, mate. Can't wait to get amongst it.
He's got a couple of wild ideas for this season. Little trips he wants to do.
Yeah, actually, we were talking about that last night, mate. Doing some big trips in the boat and going and have a look at some stuff. So, no, I'm pretty keen to get amongst that.
Yeah.
Brett just got back, so he's gone straight out to the island today.
Yep.
The people are slowly starting to come back in. So I know I haven't read all the questions, but there's definitely going to be one in there about what happens this time of year and wet season. That's usually a fairly prominent question that comes up a lot of the time with people. So
so the last few podcasts we've been putting up on our Facebook group and our Facebook page for call outs for people. If you've got any questions, at the end of the podcast, we'll go through them all and answer them for you. Which the last two episodes, it's been sort of the major bulk of the episode, really. So we're going to sort of fly through some little topics we wanted to talk about here, and then probably just get straight onto the questions. But they're good fun to talk about.
Gives us a good talking point too.
Rather than just Mikey sitting here rambling on. For example, about chicken of the sea. Speaking of trips, we 2 days ago you and me went out in the
day before yesterday.
And beautiful spot. We're out to exactly where we wanted to get to. The weather was far better than expected. Like, it wasn't expected to be windy, but it turned out to be a ridiculous glass off. And as a result, it was very, very hot. We had to keep moving from spot to spot just to get a bit of aircon going, just a bit of breeze. But
Oh, I'm glad you did take a cordless fan with you, mate. Well, I think it might have still been in there from our camping trip, but
it was,
But it was pretty handy having that up under the casting deck though, because I tell you what, I was absolutely cooked being in that sun.
Yeah, it was hot. But so the fishing report, we caught we probably landed 100 fish for the day, but
there's plenty of fish.
Probably the most desirable ones we got. We got several goldies. Nothing to brag about, but plenty of goldies and some trickies, some cod, trevally, queenies, and then let's keep going downhill. We go to catfish, sharks, which the sharks are an absolute menace some days. Some days you won't even see one.
Yeah, other days like that. There was one point where we had the drone up and there was a dozen sharks out the back of the boat, I reckon, cruising around.
They didn't take any of our fish. They didn't bite a single fish in half as we wound it up. Not one, but we did hook up to and land and catch so many little sharks. There were some bigger ones around as well. But we caught a lot of sharks. Yeah. We had one of the plans. I called it a side project, side quest. one of the side quests was to take home a shark for Big Pete, because he's from down south, and he loves his flake, which I think is gummy shark.
Yeah, I reckon.
Down south, and we've been telling him, I don't think it's going to be the same, Pete. The ones up, the sharks, they all stink and whatever. So we were going to bring him one home, but then we decided against it.
Well, we did say if we brought him one home that he'd just have to deal with it, because not butchering it for you, mate. Like you can do your own filleting and whatever, because it's the smell that comes off them, that ammonia smell is unreal. And I know people say things like, when you catch them, bleed them, cut the tail off, put them on ice. Some people say fillet them and soak the fillets in milk. No lady that used to do that, but honestly, there's, we got more than, if not that we were going out to keep a lot of fish. I think you kept a couple to make a video.
Fish I kept, yeah.
But like if we wanted a good feed of fish, we could have kept half a dozen goldies that were pan size, and we would have been fine. So we don't need to stuff around eating shark.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, we had some a few tourists coming through, mate. So it's very early in the season still, obviously. We've
already had tourists come and leave. They've already left and new ones have come in,
Yeah, we hired a boat out the other day to a young fella and his son there. They went out, I think, 2 days. And I think first afternoon they went out and they got some. Oh, we saw them down the boat ramp.
That's
They
right.
got some grunder, goldies. And they only gone out for the afternoon for a couple of hours. And then the next day they went out and the young fella got a couple of barras as well.
Yeah,
So,
he was probably 11 years old, something like that.
yeah, maybe, around that. Yeah.
So, I don't know if he's caught barra before, but that would have been exciting
He
for
was
him.
Dad was saying he was super keen. He just wanted to stay in the boat the whole time. So no, he's a real nice young fella. But so he got his barra, so that was good. Who else? Guys that are staying at Big Pete's at the moment. They've been out. They got a meatery today.
Yeah, there's your fishing report, folks.
Yeah, got a real nice barra. Just seen the photos a minute ago. He didn't have an iPhone, so I couldn't airdrop it. But had a look at the photo. I mate, real good fish. So on the troll.
Nice.
We got to go to that secret spot. Have a look.
Did he tell you where he got it?
He told me exactly where he got it.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to say though. No, it's just where everyone goes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was what else been happening? Brad was just here.
Oh, from Jabbers Australia.
Yeah. Brad was just here with a couple of mates, and they did real good as well. They went out. They got a heap of barras up on the coast there somewhere. And then they went out and did some reef fishing, and we seen some of the fish they caught. They got some bloody
coral trout.
Big coral trout, red emperors, nannies, bit of everything.
Pretty much a perfect trip, to bring home everything from barra through to red emperor, and It
was good to go and have a chat with them, see how their trip went, and had a look at some of the new gear that Jabbers is bringing out, mate. I'm pretty bloody excited. Some of the stuff they got lined up looks unreal. And Brad gives us a bit more gear to try out. So
I'm excited. Got the new Triggerman rod I've got, the big spinning rod.
Yeah.
Can't wait to use that one.
And and I got a bait caster off him, a Urban Beat. So it's got a really, I should have brought one over. We could have done
a little show and tell.
I'll take a photo and send it to you. But I got a Urban Beats, which is I've been using the Wanderlust, which is unreal.
Yeah.
But that's it's a bigger, heavier rod that you can go out and use for jigging and get your big reds and stuff, and you can still use it for barras inside. But he gave me this Urban Beats. It's a much smaller bait caster rod for barra fishing, and it's unreal. I think I ended up, I didn't have a reel to put on it. I ended up going and finding an old one that I had in the container.
One, yeah,
an old wild one, and give it a bit of a clean up, put some new line on it, and just so I could give it a quick run. And I think first cast I got a fish on it. So
yeah, that's right. You
must be right.
Yeah, little Queenie it was. Literally first cast.
With one of their little jig heads as well. So a little plastic on there. So unreal. I'm keen to go do some barra fishing. I've got some other mates coming this week, so I'm going to try and hopefully get amongst it and get a few barras, see what happens.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so that's the Triggerman there, a little 5-piece. It's just crazy how light they are, and they're high end gear, like they're not toys. But they fit into the smallest little pouch. They're 5-piece rod, and we love them. Well,
the best thing is that like you come and pick me up the other morning when we went out, and I just had my sort of Yeti Go box with all my stuff in it. Like I had 3 or 4 different reels in there, 3 or 4 different rods, all packed up in one little case. It makes it so much easier moving around. Like, I mean, you've got miles of room in your boat, but if you're traveling, like they are a game changer. Like,
well, it's called a Go box, and it really is. It's grab and go. Awesome. and fishing here as well. We do hit last week. There was questions about the fishing comp. We usually have a Easter fishing comp every year at King Ash Bay here on the MacArthur River, and we didn't have any information about it. Now we have a small amount of information that it will be held again this year
Easter weekend
on the Easter weekend, which is around the 19th, 20th, I think.
It's the weekend
April.
Before Anzac Day, I reckon. So it's a fairly late Easter this year.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's happening, and we'll give you more information as we get it. But maybe even just stay tuned to the King Ash Bay Fishing Club Inc. Facebook page, and you'll get your updates on there.
Yep, but it is going ahead. I think you shared it from our page.
Yeah, to the Guys on the Golf page. Yep, I did. Yep.
So, if you follow that King Ash Bay one anyway, that'll King Ash Bay Fishing Club Inc. Facebook, they'll no doubt have some more info up there. in the coming weeks. So, but yeah, they put a date claimer in there now for that. So that's good. Good to see that that coming together.
Yep. Should be exciting times.
You're going to be here for it, mate, you reckon? Hopefully.
Oh, who knows, mate? Yeah. Honestly, who knows? But yeah, I hope so.
Should be a good weekend. Usually is for people that haven't been here before. So usually, there's been several different sort of ways it's been run, but usually there's a reef category and an estuary category. So it doesn't matter how big your boat is. If you got a little tinny or if you got a big 8 meter plate boat, doesn't really matter. There's something you can target. Sometimes there's a men's and women's. Sometimes it's just combined.
Sometimes junior category. Sometimes.
Yeah. Usually there's a kids category.
Yeah. Because all the people that run the comp every year, they're all volunteers. So pretty much if someone's willing to put their hand up to run it, however they want to run it is how it's going to be. So that's fine. And then, if someone thinks that's how they're doing it is a bad idea, they need to put their hand up and do it themselves.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Yeah, that's absolutely the best way to put it.
So we know nothing about it except however they want to do it is fine.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Like we obviously we do have our opinions on it. I think ours are the same. That it should be a weigh-in comp and all that sort of stuff. But if it's not, that's fine.
Yeah, that's it, mate. At the end of the day, like you said, it's whoever's running it, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Because if it's a massive job, massive undertaking, trying to get all the sponsorship through, and then organising it, getting all the nominations together, putting all the data onto the computer, and then I've been in the office down there and trying to work out who the winners are at times, and it's an absolute nightmare,
and some people use spreadsheets, some people use pen and paper to try and collate all the data. And
it's a very, 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 very big job.
Even just organising prizes, and then the whole thing. It's a logistical.
Well, it could be over the course of the weekend. There could be 40, 50, 60 different prizes between raffles and fishing prizes and stuff on the Saturday night, stuff on the Friday. Usually we have a cane toad Calcutta on the Friday night. Right. Somebody's got to organise that and run that. That's always a great laugh, which is essentially, I don't know, maybe a dozen cane toads get caught, put in a bucket. They get auctioned off. As they get auctioned off, and some of them go for several $100s. I've seen them go for over $1,000.
Yeah.
They get a little number on a bit of paper stuck to them with a rubber band. And they all get tipped out into a circle in the middle of the bar, and then whichever cane toad gets out of the circle first wins. So that's always good fun on the Friday night.
Yeah.
And then usually we've got the Little Ripper Band. So Shane and Laurie come up from New South Wales and perform usually the Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights and do an excellent job. So
if you've ever been to King Ash Bay before and have seen live entertainment here, there's at least a 70 to 80% chance it was the Little Ripper Band.
Yeah, unless you were here in November last year, that's the only time you've been here where we had Luke Geiger. Other than that, it's been the Little Ripper Band pretty much.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Easter, mate. That's the next sort of big thing coming up. And then obviously the week after that's Anzac Day, which, I suppose if you're here for Easter, you'll probably be trying to make it so you're here for Anzac Day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Anzac Day is obviously usually for us is a fairly important day on the calendar. I know you and I have been involved with Anzac Day here for the last, I don't know, at least decade.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah. Anytime I've actually been here, I've always been involved, and obviously you've always, Yeah. No, I love the turnout we get here. Like on Anzac Day every year, that like being late April, there'd probably be 100 to 120 people at King Ash Bay at the time. And, I reckon if there was 120 people here, I reckon 115 of them come to the dawn service. Yeah,
at least I reckon. Yeah. I think usually any time I've opened up the dawn service, I've usually started with the same sort of thing. Good morning, welcome everyone, thanks for coming down. I think this is one of the best attended Anzac Day dawn services anywhere per capita. Yeah. Because exactly like you said, if there's 120 people on site, there's at least 115 people turn up there for it.
Yeah.
The girls are in the kitchen, from 4 o'clock in the morning cooking bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
And usually we do the fishing club puts on a free bacon and egg breakfast, and you can have a rum and milk.
Yeah.
And then usually around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we play two up in the front of the bar.
Yeah.
And Yeah, so it's not usually usually an all right afternoon.
Even like big groups of fishermen and that come here and then that happen to be here for Anzac Day, they'll delay their morning to come to the dawn service at least, even if they don't stay for breakfast.
Yeah, well, some of the guys that I think that's don't quote me. I think it's Simo's crew or something like that. I think they stay out on the houseboat, but then they come back in for dawn service and 2
Is that the one that threw bloody 13 heads in a row?
I think it might be. Yeah, I think might be his group. Yeah.
Yeah, if I didn't have that on video, no one would never believe it. Yeah, I can't remember. It was something ridiculous like 13 heads in a row he threw. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of people that lost a lot of money that day, and it wasn't him.
Were you in there?
Yeah. It was he was on. So he must have been throwing because he was spinning them, so he must have been on heads. So I must have been tails. Yeah,
you're a tail better.
I know Alex the Crabber gave him a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
He was a tail better.
Yeah, I'm usually a tail better.
Yeah, far out. And my old man was there. We were banking, like we were holding the money.
Oh, was I ring leader or ring master?
I reckon you were. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon you were. And
yeah, I remember that. I was.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so I was sitting next to my old man Normie, and we were sort of taking turns betting against, even though we were bankers, like pretty laid back. We were betting against him, and it wasn't good. Anyway, let's move on from that. There'll be no 2 up for me this year.
Buy the merch.
Yeah, seriously, folks. Yeah, we're getting to the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, you need to be facing your labels forward, Ashley.
Yeah, I just spun it around, mate. Settle down.
The golf mud crab stubby holder there.
How's that for a stubby holder, eh?
Oh yeah,
great stubby holder, mate. I like these because they're actually sewn. They're not just glued. So they actually hold together really well.
Thanks, mate.
No, they're actually really good.
Those are good quality ones. Yeah. In the news, did you see that the young fella with I don't even know where it was, Western Australia maybe, the big Cobia, world record Cobia,
the monster, yeah.
I think I might have taken a screenshot that had the weight. Yeah, there it is. Kobe Duncan, 79.6 kilograms.
How heavy was the fish? That was a fish. Monster.
Well, just looking at him, he probably doesn't weigh that much. Yeah, on a Saragossa 6,000, and I've got a Saragossa 6,000, and that's a hell of a fish for that. Yeah, world record. Yeah, that fish has appeared in my feed on Facebook and TikTok and that bloody 60 times in the last 2 days.
It is a monster. Tell me about your experiences catching cobia, Mikey.
I do have 2 cobia stories. One was recently, I was very excited. It was probably about 2 feet long, and I wound it in. Oh, it's a cobia, my first ever cobia. And I got it in. Oh, it's got a big suction cup on top of it.
It was a big remora.
It was a big remora.
They do look very,
very similar. Yeah, because I didn't even know the remoras got that big. I thought they only got half that size. But no, it was a remora. And the other one, so my wife, she's caught a good cobia before. Out here, it was right near. There was not the rocks at the weather station. Like there's a couple of bommies out from the weather station, maybe several kilometres back from it.
Yep.
So what's that, Centre Island?
Yeah, Centre Island. Yeah, I know. I reckon I know the rocks you're talking about too.
I reckon at high tide they might even be underwater at high tide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get some barrow around them rocks.
Yeah. Too. Okay. But yeah, so I was casting in. Oh, in fact, yeah, had the electric motor down. We were casting around, nothing happening, and my wife's it was a little Lucifer. Actually, she had it out the back, a little Reddy's little hard body. She had it out the back, and I'm like, oh look, I'm just going to go forward 20 meters. And then so I start with the electric beep, 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 beep going in. And then she's like, oh, I'm snagged. And I'm like, and I'll turn around, like, come on. Like, you left your line out. What? And then it starts going, zzz. I'm like, oh, you're not snagged. And then she wound it in and she got it right next to the boat. I'm like, I can't remember if it looked like a catfish or a shark, but I remember it being at the side of the boat. I'm like, bugger. And then I put it in the net. I'm like, wait a second, what is that? And at that point, I'd never even seen a cobia before. And, so that's my wife caught that one, and she doesn't do much fishing, so she always lets me know about it whenever cobia gets brought up as a topic.
The cobia queen.
Has your brother or sister-in-law, you've taken them? They've got massive cobia here before, haven't they?
Yep. Just where we went the other day fishing, actually. Same sort of area, pretty much. And I remember having a a slightly warmed discussion with my brother about it because my sister-in-law hooked it and I saw it. I was like, oh, it's a monster, bloody, and I couldn't get the word cobia out, and I'm going, what do you call it? What do you call it? My brother's going, no, you're thinking of a cobia. It's not a cobia. It's a shark. I'm like, it's not a shark, mate. 100%, 100% is a cobia. And brought it in, and it was a very decent sized one as well, like well over a meter long. Like it was a real good fish. And then a few years ago, I reckon, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was out. Well, it might have even been longer ago. I don't know. I was doing charters at the time, but a real good fella used to come up at least a couple of times a year. Used to bring up a heap of lamb and stuff for me, and I'd take him fishing for about 2-3 days.
Yep.
And we were out, and it was a real quiet day. And almost like the other day we went out, it was just an absolute glass off. So we went out to this reef a little bit further out, and somewhere I sort of hadn't been to before, and we seen some cobia sitting off this bommy there, and they were just cruising around just like a school of them, but they were absolute horses, like, you know, 1.30 m, 1.40 m long. And we literally just flicked the lure in and just bang straight up, but he ended up getting 2 real good ones out of this school of cobia just sitting there.
Yeah, so it's not a fish you hear about being caught very often around here, but they're obviously there.
If you said go and target one, I don't even know where to start.
If you fish for a year, you might not get one.
Well, I've caught them in just, like in dirty, shallow water when we're fishing for goldies and jewies and stuff at the bottom of the islands. And then I've caught them way out in the proper crystal clear water, miles out. And so I don't know. Yeah, they do, seem to be sort of very random sort of things, I suppose.
Yeah.
What else did you get the other day, mate? Oh, you got a mother-in-law fish.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely a mixed species day. Yeah.
Yeah. So we tried. While you were using bait mostly, I ended up trying a couple of soft plastics and jigs, but geez, it's just the sharks there were just every 2 minutes having to retie a new one on because you're just getting absolutely smoked. So getting bitten off.
Awesome. I reckon we should look at some of these questions because I think there's going to be a few.
Yep.
We want to try and get through a lot of them.
Which ones are you going to do, mate? You got some on your page?
Yeah, because I shared it to Mikey Cunningham Fishing, so I will start there. Not too many in there.
In other news, mate, hand sanitizer has to be taken off the shelves. I know we've run out of beer, but we're not that desperate just yet. Northern Territory, yes. You've got to take the hand sanitizer off the shelves because people are drinking it. So, we're not that bad just yet. So,
far out.
Oh, in the rod locker. Where are you, mate? You're on yours?
I'm in mine, yeah.
Okay, let me change this to all comments. And then...
good idea.
Start from the...
I'll start with... could you get a 40... This is from Brett Jones. Could you get a 40-foot catamaran up the river on the spring tides, about 1.4 metre draft? Looking at semi-retirement and working my way around the coast first. So 1.4 metre draft. So at high tide on springs, if you came up the MacArthur, there are a couple of shallow sections.
Yeah, you get through.
But you would, But it wouldn't be a breeze, as in like on high tide. Like there would be sections that are only 2 meters deep.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't be cruising through there flat out. But no, you can definitely do it. I know we had a boat years ago. It had a 1.2 meter draft, and we brought it right up through the rock bar here.
Yeah.
And you'd have to wait, for a making tide sort of thing to get over the rock bar. But yeah, no dramas. Like 1.4 meters is not a drama.
Yeah. Do you want to go? You go next.
One for one. Yeah. Righto. Big Chris here. Weirdest bait you guys have had to use due to running out or not being able to find any? I'm northern New South Wales and I've used chicken for cod and chicken hearts in the salt and had good success with both. Weirdest bait.
I don't know. I do have a weird bait story. Another story from my wife Jazz. She hasn't done a lot of fishing. And she doesn't want to touch bait. She won't even touch the fish. So if she catches one, I have to do everything. But as a result, she wanted to be self-sufficient in the boat. So She brought crumbed calamari rings, like raw, but crumbed calamari rings and put a hook through it. This is going years ago. And yeah, we went out and fished out in one of the holes in the channel out the mouth of the Crooked Creek. And she got a really, really good golden snapper. On a crumb tenderized calamari ring.
And you were eating the bait, mate. I'm trying to think. I haven't really tried any real weird stuff, I don't think, but I know I've heard of people catching barra on squid and stuff, which I suppose is fairly strange. You wouldn't think that's their normal, normal sort of, normal sort of food. But
and I suppose around here, because we're allowed cast nets here, so we don't need to resort to weird bait, I suppose, because we can always just go get some more.
Oh, yeah, because you're from New South Wales and, northern New South Wales, and you're not allowed cast nets in New South Wales, I don't think, are you? No.
Jeff Mills, do you think that the poor wet will affect the fishing around the islands?
Negative.
No.
It has very little bearing
not
on it,
around the islands. Mate, in the creeks for barra and stuff, possibly. But around the islands for reef species and that, no, I reckon that'll...
And it's good pretty much year round.
Yeah. If anything, it'll make it better, as in the season will be longer.
Yeah.
Because of the... Yeah.
And people need to start learning to come early. I know it can be hit and miss, but like this time of year, to me, is the best. Like you've got storms around. It's some days are red hot, but when it's red hot, it means you have your glass offs. Yeah, and then you can cruise anywhere, even in a smaller boat. You often get rain and storms and stuff like that cool down anyway.
I'd say maybe if you're coming from like Victoria or something, maybe don't do it for several reasons, but especially if you have to drive 4 days to get here or 5 days to get here.
Depends what your thing is. Like if you're coming for 10 days or something like that, you can always have a backup plan. Like, have a backup to if it's a cyclone comes in, it gets flooded or whatever the week before you come up. Yep. You go, okay, well, righto, we'll go to Darwin and
go Dundee or something instead. Yeah,
Darwin's quiet this time of year as well. It's not hard to get accommodation or anything like that.
Yeah,
but this time of year is just the best because there's
you do want aircon.
Yeah. There's bugger all people here. And like you go down the boat ramp, there's 2 or 3 other boats maximum this time of year.
Yeah.
You go out down the river and you won't see anyone really. Like the last, half dozen times we've been out and haven't seen anyone other than people that were with us. So yeah, it's.
So anyway. I just had a chuckle because I've read a couple of questions ahead. It's all right. I think it's up to you.
Nelson O'Neill, when are we going to see more mud crabbing videos? Has Ash got his pots in yet? Not yet. I'm still.
Come on, mate. We want some mud crabbing videos.
Yeah, well, I know Mikey does.
That's where the views are.
So we're slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. Hopefully not too long away.
Day James. Are there any places for sale at King Ash Bay? Who can buy there and what would prices be like? We covered this at length, I think 2 podcasts ago, and we did mention one place that's for sale, and we told everyone about how you have to be a life member and that whole process. So we'll skim over it a little fairly quickly now, but if you want the full details, 2 podcasts ago, towards the end we answered that in detail. But there is definitely at least 2 places for sale we know of now.
Yeah, I reckon 3 that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
One's
on the river.
One's on there's 2 on Riverside Drive. One's on Baton Road. The 2 on Riverside Drive, one's actually on the waterfront and one's not on the waterfront.
Yep.
The one that's not on the waterfront, that's been advertised in the Rod Locker. So on Facebook, if you join the Rod Locker, like our Facebook page, like our Facebook group, there's an advert for it in there a few times from Monty there. So you can go and have a look at that. I think his number's in there. You can have a chat to him about it. But yeah, at the last podcast we spoke about the whole procedure and stuff, but it's not a big deal. Some people make it out to be like it's a big deal. It's not a big deal.
To become a life member and all that, and you have to be a regular member for 1 year. It sounds complicated, but it really, really isn't.
Yeah, it's not no stress.
Yeah.
Tony Mayo, interested in the VHF repeater. Is Channel 81 monitored by anyone? Can we log in and out from a safety perspective? It's not monitored by anyone per se, like there's no one specifically monitoring it, but I know like the Servo, for example, they have their radio on. There's plenty of people around. There's people that live out at the islands that have the radio on.
Yeah. Well, even this shed that we're in right now, there's in the pantry, there's a permanently mounted radio, which I've got off at the moment. But some people just, while they're home, they'll just have the radio on just to listen to chatter and what's going on out there.
As soon as the houseboats start going out, like Borrell houseboats and cabins, like as soon as their boats start going out, they're always on the radio because obviously they communicate to their boats backwards and forwards. When we've got high boats out, we try and monitor the radio. So make sure that, if anything happens, there's generally speaking, not always this time of year, you're not always going to get someone, but generally there's going to be someone.
Yeah.
You know, all the crabbers are on the same radio channel. So, yeah.
But there's certainly not, we don't have a check-in, check-out feature here. Like the club doesn't offer that and probably won't. Like it's just not in our ability to do that.
Yeah.
Is that what that was? The second part of the question?
Yeah. So is there any check-in, check-out? Well, I tell you what we did put in quite a few years ago now, and it never really took off was in everyone's welcome pack to King Ash Bay, I reckon there was a page in there which was for you to put on the dash of your car when you parked at the boat ramp. And so you filled it out and you said how many people were going out, where you were going to roughly, and when you're expected back. So if your car's still there at night time and all the other cars are gone, if somebody's worried about you, they can go and literally look through your windscreen and see, you're out for 3 days, don't stress. But if you're supposed to be back that afternoon and you're not back yet, then
that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
If you had no one that you knew that you could tell where you're going, do that, and then.
And that was going to be my next part. Was that didn't really take up because generally speaking, when you come and stay here, you set up camp or you stay at the lodge or on a houseboat or whatever. Generally speaking, you should always tell somebody. So if we're going out, for example, if Mikey's going out and I'm not going with him, he's going by himself, he'll always send me a message and say, hey, mate, I'm going to XYZ back by whatever time. And then if he's not back by then, I'll give him a few hours. I'll check the tides usually and make sure, like if it's a real low tide that afternoon or something, I'm like, he's probably got stuck coming back in. Maybe try him on the radio. And then worst case scenario, go looking and have a good idea of where I'm going to find him. So, could be, with might have hit a log submerged in the water and done a prop or something and couldn't get home, whatever. So I've been involved in plenty of people that have not come back sort of stories before, and every single one of them so far has been that they've got stuck.
Yeah.
So,
usually on the mud flats, that as the tide's going out.
Yeah.
And then they get home at midnight that night because they've had to wait for the tide to come back in to get off the mud.
Yeah. For sure.
That happens 100 times a year.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. What do we got next here? From Ant Wagner. Hey Ash, how's your dry spell going off the grog?
Living the dream, Ant. I think I've got some photos of you on here somewhere around. I'll try and find something to put up for you. I was fighting until you turned up, mate. The wheels fell off the wagon. I got them from As a Walker.
Oh.
Best yarn.
From One Tide Charters.
Yeah. So this is the guys we did the Kimberley trip with on the Kimberley Explorer. Best yarn about the stupidest thing that's happened while on a trip. Let me go first. I crashed Mikey's boat.
He did so. Poor Flanders. I
can think of a few things that have happened as I don't want to say any of them. Just I was on one trip where we nearly lost all the beer on the first day. That was a wild one. It was all recovered though, and all was well. But he crashed your boat. Where did he crash your boat?
The freshwater Finnis.
Flanders. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
We used to do a fair bit of fishing. I'd be making videos, and even would be in his boat sometimes in mine. But even if we're in my boat, he would drive just so I can focus on videoing and whatever. And we're freshwater Finnis. He turned around to do something and put a lure tray away or something like that. And I'm like, as he turns back, and we're literally going straight for the bank. And where you anchor the little roller thing there, where right the middle.
Like on the bowsprit, yeah.
Yeah, bowsprit, yeah, okay. On that bit there, that hit the middle of a tree perfectly. if it went either side of that, it would have done a hell of heaps of damage. But we hit it, and actually it was 6 inches round, like the diameter of this tree, and we hit it and we snapped it in half. Like we hit it hard. But luckily, because we hit that, because if we went sideways, we would have veered and gone up, way up. Oh, yeah. Anyway, but this sort of was a bit of a spring, and when I get at the tree, it snapped, and yeah. Oh, it's an old, the video, it used to be my favorite video back in the day. Barra, Crocs, and Soiled Jocks. If you go to YouTube and search Barra, Crocs, and Soiled Jocks, it was that episode. There's footage of it actually happening. I accidentally left a camera rolling on the floor of the boat. So I did have footage of it when it happened. Yeah, you don't see the impact, but yeah, there was a camera rolling.
I'll tell you a yarn about a fella crashing a boat into the mangroves. Another legend, legend of King Ash Bay. I won't mention his names, but
I'll go on. He's been on the podcast.
Yeah. And it wasn't Shredder. It wasn't Mullet.
It wasn't Ant.
Wasn't Lockie. Anyway, but yeah, he just bought a tinny. I don't even know where he bought. I think he bought it from here, from King Ash Bay. Yeah,
he did.
He bought it off a fellow that was working at the mine, I think, and he hadn't owned a tinny before, and it was only maybe a 375 or something like that, sub 4 meter tinny.
Small.
But it had I think it had like a 40 or something, 40 or 30 or 42 stroke on it. It went fairly,
which is 25 more than he needs. I said it. Whoops.
Anyway,
love you, Froggy.
It went good though. Like it went pretty good, and he wanted to learn the river, and I said, well, what we'll do is you just follow me. I'll take my boat out, and me and Brandon Mousey, fellow was helping build our house at the time. Him and his old man jumping in my boat with me in the boat I used to have. And we're coming down to see you and Jazz. You and Jazz were staying on the houseboat. Yeah. Catching goldies on calamari rings. Yeah. Probably was about that time.
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
And so anyway, yeah, young fellas following us down the river, going through the rock bar and whatever. And he'd had a couple of beers, and there's no blood alcohol limit on the water in the Northern Territory. So, you're allowed to have a few sherbets when you're driving the boat, as long as you're not being reckless. As he started to get a little bit more comfortable with the tiller steer and the feel of the boat, he started getting a bit more adventurous and jumping a few wakes behind me and stuff like that. So really enjoying himself. And we got down the river about 30 odd Ks down. We're just around the corner from where you guys were. And I looked back to make sure it was still following, and he was getting rather close to the mangroves. And so I sort of just kept my eyes on him for a minute. And then as the mangroves are almost slapped him in the face, he's obviously got a bit needed to adjust course very quickly. But he zagged when he should have zigged. And, instead of pulling the tiller handle towards himself and turning left, he's gone to push it away from himself and done the reverse and just driven at about 40 k an hour straight into the mangroves. Boat spun around, come back out of the mangroves backwards. Apart from being very extremely concerned for his welfare, I did have a bit of a chuckle because all you could see was his arms and legs in the air, sort of wedged behind between the seat and the transom. Seat, all you could see was his toes and his fingers. So poor bugger. So we went and grabbed him, and all was good, no damage done. He wasn't overly injured or anything like that. And we went and had a few beers on the houseboat. Yeah. I think he may have had a relaxing hour or so on the roof, maybe.
When he got there, he didn't even say hello, didn't say anything. He just literally climbed up on the roof and just laid down. He was white as a ghost. Oh, yeah.
He did have a second nickname for a while there. Mangrove Jack was poor bugger, but it does happen, mate. It does happen. So what else we got, mate?
Has the mobile phone coverage improved at King Ash Bay? Can you get any service at the mouth of the MacArthur River? From Simon Tosh.
Well, Simon, I can tell you, they don't call them Telstra anymore. They call them something Telstra. Bloody mongrels. There is a tower being built. We've got funding for it. Well, the government's taxpayers footed the bill for it. It's quite an expensive operation, as you can well imagine. The timeline of what was supposed to happen, yeah, basically we should have had the engineers should have been out and should have been surveyed by now, and we should be looking at having a fully functional 4G tower at King Ash Bay around the middle of the year, maybe a little bit after, ninth, 10th month, something like that. Funny you asked that question today because I did actually ring them today and didn't get an answer. I left a message to say, hey, can you get back to us? Let us know what's going on. You're supposed to have the engineers out here 2 months ago. So it is happening, but it's one of them things you got to keep chasing up. Given that it's taken 10 years to get the funding, mate, I'm not holding my breath that it'll be done in the next week or two.
Yeah, so it's on the way.
Yeah. Don't do a big plan with Telstra. Go buy Starlink.
Yeah.
Everyone just runs Starlink.
Starlink Mini. Well,
Starlink
Ash
Mini.
has got this Mini now, which is all in one device. There's no big long cable that goes back to your router. You can run it off a power bank.
12 volt off your boat, off your car.
Yeah, and it's only small, maybe the size of an iPad Pro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Weighs nothing. And again, I just got a Pelican case knockoff from Bunnings, and it'll literally run in there with a power bank in the Pelican case closed up, just sitting on the deck of the boat. It'll run. And 2 days ago, I had it on. I was doing something down the road, and I took it with me, and I was getting just under 220 download.
Yeah, wow, that's fast.
So, yeah. Craig Hucks, who's a top contributor. What's Mule Creek ramp and channel like? And is that a good option if you want to head a bit further west rather than the usual Carrington channel? It can be. I used to run out of Mule Creek all the time doing charters when I lived full-time in Borroloola. I used to drive backwards and forwards every day. I'd go out of Mule Creek rather than coming to King Ash Bay. Having said that, now living at King Ash Bay, I would not drive to Mule Creek and launch a boat from there. I just don't see a reason for it because it'd be only slightly quicker driving there and putting the boat in than what it would be by putting the boat in here and going down the Carrington and out and up the coast. Or if you had high water and the calm weather, you're only an hour and 20 minutes away from Mule Creek by boat from here.
Yeah.
If the tide's high and you can just rip along the bank, rip along the mangroves.
Yeah. But that being said, you're not looking at going to Mule Creek from here. You're looking at going to the outer. He's saying go around the island. So
yeah.
So it's If you were at King Ash Bay, you wouldn't drive to Mule Creek to launch. But if you were staying in Borroloola for some reason, Mule Creek would be a good option for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
But if you're going out fishing every day, you just wouldn't go. Even though our road here is beautiful at the moment, it's still the wear and tear on your boat and trailer just driving it out there. You might as well just drive the boat on the river.
Yeah, rather than running your car backwards and forwards. Yeah. That's the other thing too. I don't know what the road is like into Mule Creek Bay Ramp. It's only about 5 Ks or not even that long. But I know because it's real sandy. It used to be real rugged. I actually had to, at times, I'd drive out there just in the Toyota, have a couple of tins, listen to some tunes, and drag a piece of mesh backwards and forwards on the road if I had a charter coming up the next day because it used to get really corrugated. And, so I used to just go and drag a bit of mesh along there to make it not so rugged, yeah.
Troy Manderson, if that is your real name. G'day, Mikey and Ash. Manderson. Anyway, what's both your thoughts on active target? Maybe Mikey should invest in one to finally get his meter barra. That's cheers from Maddie and Mando from Nullumboy, just up the road here, neighbours, mate. But active target to get my meter barra, that would definitely help. My personal thoughts, the biggest experience I have with active target is when we were fishing in the Kimberley for one day in Wyndham with Snaggabarra. He effectively took us on a charter for the day. Obviously, he was just doing it for to look after us. But Ash and I fished for the day. He just kicked back and watched his active target, and told us where to cast and told us when a fish was following. He's like, slow down. All right, now go. Literally like playing a video game. It was awesome. But for me, making videos, which is my primary purpose for fishing, I don't think I want to get it. I feel like catching good fish is exciting and would improve videos, but it's not what my videos are about. I think it would detract from my videos, which that's where my main focus is. If you're just keen on catching lots of fish, I reckon it will be an amazing thing. Ash, your thoughts?
Yeah, same. I think unbelievable. The first time I've seen it really used was when we were with Snaggabarra over in the Kimberley there, and unbelievable watching the fish. I'll tell you what it does for you. It takes a spot where so you find a spot with your side scan, and then you pull up on it and you give it a go for 10 minutes casting out, nothing happens, so you keep moving. That's what I would normally do. Because we were using that active target, that like live scope, you're literally watching the fish and you can tell that they're big fish very, very clearly. You can see where they are. You can see that they're following your lure. Yeah. Every other cast, they're following the lure. So it's just a matter of, they're there. Yeah. So
and the exact same importance is that if you go to a spot that looks really good and you put the active target out and you see no fish there, just move on. Yeah. So you don't spend 15 minutes there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So for targeting, being very specific targeting fish, it's unreal. So again, would I spend the money on it today? If I won the lotto, mate, I'd have a nice boat with active target. But I don't know whether it's whether it's 100% up my alley or not. I don't know. It's definitely good if you want to catch specifically big fish, I suppose. Yeah. Because you can see everything.
Yeah,
so.
And all the big boys are using it, like all the people in big fishing comps in Darwin and that, and the Barra Classic and the Barra Nationals, the Shane Campaigns of the world, absolute wizards with barramundi fishing, and they're using it. So if catching lots of good fish is your aim, then definitely. But that's just a bonus for me, really.
Yeah, yeah. Have they fixed up the beef road between Barclay and Cape Crawford? Cheers, Whitey. Tim White.
Maybe check back, in 10 years?
Yeah. Nah, mate, it's rugged. If you're coming from Queensland, then it's obviously pretty much, you're not gonna go the long way around. But if you're coming from down south, like if you're coming from South Australia, up the Stewart Highway, just stay on the Stewart Highway until you get to Daly Waters.
Don't do what Mick did. don't turn right at Three Ways. Turn right at Highway Inn.
Yeah,
Daly Waters.
Yeah, because that road they have done up heaps. Yeah, it's dual lanes most of the way.
And this year, compared to last year, was that they had a big diversion. So they kept doing the roadworks last year during the wet season, and they had a huge diversion where you had to drive through the mud and whatever on the side. I've been told because I'm probably looking to driving back home to Darwin next week or so. I've been told that there is no diversion. You literally stay on the bitchy the whole way. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it is good. They pulled up for the wet season there pretty much, I think. Yeah. Who's that, me or you?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You go, mate.
Zane White, boys, I have a song for you to add to the Golf Mud Crabbers playlist.
Go on, tell me what it is.
Keep the Wolves Away by Uncle Lucius. It's a cracker of a song, mate. Is it not in there? I would have thought it would have been in there already. I reckon we can put it in there.
Yeah.
It is a good song,
mate. Straight up.
This song will not disappoint. I reckon we should add it straight up, mate. It is a cracker of a song. Mike is going to do it right now for you, mate. There you go. Any song nominations, guys, you can probably send them through, eh?
Keep the Wolves Away, Uncle Lucius.
Yep. That's the one.
Alrighty.
I'll rip through a couple more, eh? Then you can have a go.
Yep.
Mick Todd, is Ash crabbing yet? We answered that one already. Dominic Hoare, is Ash into crabbing this year? Has the river improved for crabbing or too early to tell? We spoke about this last episode. He also says that Barra were pretty slow last September. Are you anticipating a big wet season with the mild flooding? Mate, we haven't had any flooding at all this year so far, which is good.
The river's risen a couple of times or a few times.
Yeah, but not
you wouldn't
not
call
much.
It flooding, no.
The boat ramp's in tip-top condition.
It is at the moment, yeah. With the crabbing, just one thing to mention, our good mate Young Boy has arrived back a couple of days ago.
Young Boy.
We'll get a good report from him maybe in a day's time because he'll probably go crabbing straight away.
He would have been into it already, mate.
Yeah.
Hopefully the crabbing's all right this year. I'm not expecting it to be as good as it was the year before last. Certainly hoping it's better than last year, though.
Yeah.
So we are down a couple of boys this year because it's just Kerry Ham, have the boys done much over in the Robinson and the Wirian rivers? Have you? I don't think you've ever been to the Wirian, have you?
No, only by land.
Yeah. So you've driven across it
never
on
never by boat.
Yeah.
We've been past the Wirian before a couple of times. I've been a few times with you.
Yeah.
By boat, but not into the Wirian.
I've caught going from here by boat. I think I've been to the Wirian maybe only a handful of times really, because you're going past so much good country between here and the Wirian, so there's sort of not really any need to. And like if you're going to go fish the Wirian, then you may as well go like camp out at Manangora, I suppose. If you want to do some bush camping and that, it's a great spot out there to go and have a fish. I have caught barras in there before in the boat, but yeah, like I've only been there a handful of times. Usually if I'm going that way, I'll keep going down past there, and like you've got them other creeks there, like I think Salt and Pepper Creek maybe, and Fat Fella Creek, and yeah, those places. Zane Wilkins, you've both fished and explored a large part of the Pelu Islands. Which part has been the best, not just fishing wise, and why? The best part.
Did Zane ask a question before, or is it a different Zane? Anyway,
can't remember.
The best part of the Pelu Islands and why? Explored a large part. Not just fishing. Well, probably if it's not just fishing, I would say North Island.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially around, like, say, Paradise Bay, because you can, like, without having to get permission or anything like that. If you're from interstate, you will need a permit.
Yeah.
But
Parks and Wildlife. It is national park.
Yeah. So you're allowed to step foot on there, which we do sort of fairly regularly now that I've got the new boat. And then just down the road from there, you've got Waibi Fishing and Wilderness Lodge.
Which we've had plenty of good times there.
Yeah. And then whether you stay at Paradise Bay and camp on the beach or stay at Weeby with Brett, if the weather's good, you're 15 minutes in any direction from a ripper fishing spot.
Yeah, you can catch everything there pretty much, like from barras, jacks to all your reef species. Plenty. We've spoken about heaps
mud crabs,
marlins, literally everything pretty much right there. So, and it's a
hell of a playground
because you can pull up and have a spell on the beach there, and it's especially in the dry season when the southeasterlies are blowing, it's almost always dead flat in there in Paradise Bay. Like it is actually like a safe anchorage. So you can pull up in there and
not at this time of year when you and Ant go out in the the punt.
It gets a bit rugged in the wet season, mate. When the northerlies come in, it's not 100%. But no, it was good the other day. We went there and we pulled up and cooked a feed, and there was a slight breeze blowing onto the beach, but it was dead flat. And we let the anchor out and let the boat sort of drift right back, so it was almost touching the sand on the beach. We pulled up there, filled the fish on the back of the boat, and cooked up a feed. And just in knee deep water there, crystal clear as far as you can see. It's clear as. So we just sort of sat down in the water there and had a cool off after a pretty hot morning fishing. Yeah. So and that's the sort of stuff that I suppose that we sort of really like doing is going out and you go fishing hard for a couple of hours and then kick back, because we're not here just for a week. Although Mikey does trips back and forth, we're both here for the long haul, so we don't have to go and put in 12-hour days fishing every day we go out.
That's right.
So we like to go out, punch out, try and get a few fish, try and make it so that Mikey can get some videos for an episode, and and just have a good time. So usually once that sort of work stuff's done, it's great to be able to pull up on the beach there. And North Island's pretty well the only spot you can do it. I think top of Centre Island as well is Camp Beach. There's some lease blocks there, but realistically, North Island's the go.
Yeah,
because you've got the best of everything there, pretty much.
Agreed. This is a good question for you, mate. Mark Flanders. What size boats can you hire at King Ash Bay? Are they big enough to get out to North Island?
Oh, no, we hire boats we do for just in the river here. But if you wanted to go out to North Island, then like I'd talk to Brett out at Waverley Lodge. He runs a boat out there, his barge out there for the business out there. So I'd have a chat to him, mate. It's probably your best option. But you don't, having said that, you don't need a big boat. And I've spoken about this, I think, a couple of times now. Like, you don't need a big boat to go out to the islands. Like, if the weather's okay, you can run a small boat out there. We did a trip 100 k's from here, and I was in a 4.2 or 4.2 or 4.4 meter tinny, like just a small tinny with a 40 horsepower. That he and did 100 k's up the coast. And
I uploaded a photo of that, the one with the three of us, like parked up on the beach there for a bit, and it's had a few comments on it. And a comment from today that came through was someone basically not believing that we did it, basically saying, 100 kilometers. No, they said, because it's obviously a 200 kilometer round trip. They go, 200 kilometers, that would use a lot of fuel, way more than those tinnies could hold.
I use it. The tanks, the main tank's 40 litres, and I took 2 spare jerry cans. I only put 1 jerry can in it.
Yeah. And my boat, I bought spare fuel. And I did put it in, but when I came home, I still had 120 litres in the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. And Shredder didn't even take any spare fuel.
Yeah. Anyway, but tell us about so you don't even allow customers to take boats in certain places, like out the islands and down the Carrington. You don't let them go down there?
Nah, usually no.
Yeah.
If someone like if I know them and they know their country real well and they've been here before and done heaps of trips and stuff and they're confident, then there's no dramas. But like in terms of going down the Carrington, but no, we're only surveyed for like in the rivers, so you can't go past the river mouths. So
tell us about the hire boats.
Oh, well, if you want to hire a boat, just give Katie a ring. She'll see. I know. So I know we've got a couple of boats on the go. We're working on getting a couple more sort of going. Hopefully, maybe even this year we might even try and get another 1 or 2 going. Because it's something that, obviously we did charters before, and we stopped doing that maybe 2 years ago. And I had a boat which was in survey, so I just started hiring it out, more or less just for our lodge customers that would come and stay with us, and that either not bring a boat with them, or a lot of the times they'd come up from down south, bring their boat, but then when they got here they had a mechanical issue or something, an issue with their boat, so maybe they hit a rock or something like that and did a gearbox. So, rather than going home a week early from their 10-day trip, we just hire them out a boat and never really sort of did it as a money-making thing. But the demand has certainly increased exponentially over the last few years, and we haven't advertised anything, done nothing at all like that. So, but the demand has certainly increased. So, now we've got... Absolutely, we've got 2 boats that are pretty well flat out most of this year, and we're working on getting something else happening. So we'll see.
So if someone wanted to hire a boat, whether it's for a day or 2 days or a week, you can accommodate anything like that. As long as there's availability. But so what's the best way for someone to do that? What's the most likely way that Katie will reply to them? Get
on King Ash Bay Lodge Facebook page, mate. Cool. So just look on Facebook, look up King Ash Bay Lodge. We don't even run a website or anything really. We just it's all either word of mouth or people ring the fishing club looking for something. Like, as I said, we haven't done any advertising.
On Facebook, you should change it to King Ash Bay Lodge and hire boats.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to do that. We'll probably do that this year, mate. Like I said though, like we're pretty busy already without doing any advertising at all. So everything's either word of mouth or yeah. So
as you said, the demand's just there, isn't it? So
yeah, it is for sure. So I know it can be advertising stuff can be a double-edged sword sometimes, because like you don't want to be the last thing you want to be doing is telling people no. And we have to do it all the time with the lodge. Like if you want to come early in the year or later in the year when it's like the peak sort of fishing times, like as we talk about all the time, is like the shoulders of the season, like the swing season. like
You could have to book 3 years in advance or something.
Yeah, well,
Maybe.
we've got some groups that they want it every single year, and there's it's 10 guys for 10 days, so it's 100 bed nights, and they want it twice a year, every year until they die. Like I said, pretty much every year we want this, and so so Katie tries to fit like all them guys that have been coming for years and tries to fit all them in. So and because there's not much availability in King Ash Bay, you can't rent out houses, you can't Airbnb places here and things like that. So so it is, I suppose, a very tight sort of niche sort of market having an accommodation business here. So yeah. Anyway.
All right, we'll move on to the next one, eh?
Yeah, send it.
Yep. Reese Williams asks, how many beers can you two buffaloes drink in one session? I suppose a lot. Probably more than you'd think. What have you got?
How many beers can we drink in a session? You asked me to answer that question. I don't know. Look, we've tried to work it out before, but every time we've lost count.
Yeah.
Or forgotten what we were doing or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I suppose if we're out like having a big day out on the boat, we'd definitely take a couple of cartons. Yeah. Yeah. So we've been through this before in the podcast. So what I do when we have customers coming to stay in the lodge or something like that, I usually say if you're a drinker, like if you normally enjoy beers like every day, and you're coming for a fishing trip up here, I work on 1 carton per person per day of whatever beer you drink. Yeah. And
if you're a spirit drinker, then work on 1/2 bottle per day. Yeah. So a half a bottle of spirits per day. Yeah. Per person, not per your group. And the amount of times that I've had guys, groups of fishermen come up, they're, especially younger fellas like in their sort of 30s, 40s, 50s, mate, the amount of groups that we've had that turn up and they're going, there's not a chance we need that much grog. Always, hey, mate, any chance we could borrow a carton off you? Or, hey, where do we get takeaways here? Well, you can't get takeaway alcohol here. Like you cannot, like you've got to order it from Darwin to get it down on the truck. It's once a week. If you miss the bus by a day, you're 10 days before you're going to get it. It's
even a carton, even if that seems like a lot more than you usually drink, you would just be surprised. If, as I said, if you do enjoy some beers every day, if you usually drink 6 a day at home,
you'll drink a lot more than that.
You'll drink a lot more than that here.
100%. 100%. Just trying to find the where I was, mate. Where I was up to. I've lost it.
Oh, I've got a Kevin Blatchford one.
Yeah.
You can only have 1 bottle of rum. Choose between Bundy OP, Sailor Jerry, Kraken, Captain Morgan, and how's the Mechanical Bull looking for November?
Well, Kevin, if you're going to get me on, I'm going to need one of each of those. Oh, mate, I don't know. All questions about the rodeo, and we've had plenty like off the podcast and stuff. There's so many people who've been asking about, are we doing this again this year? What we did. So we did the Barkley Bulls and Barra tournament in November last year. Heaps of people have been asking about it. Answer is don't know. We're not involved. I'm not involved in the club in that sort of regard at the moment. So yeah, I think it'll be down to what the fishing club wants to do if they wanted to run that event again. I mean, we'd certainly be keen to see it happen again.
It was awesome,
and love to see it happen again. More than happy to help out and run stuff or whatever, or organise stuff. But yeah, it's 100% up to what the fishing club wants to do, mate. So that's where we're at with that one.
But the rum,
I would say honestly,
Bundy OP, Sailor Jerry, Kraken, Captain Morgan.
In all honesty, love all of them. Don't drink a lot of Bundy these days. I used to only drink Bundy. Actually, aggressively so. Like
Bundaberg fighting juice.
Yeah.
I do not like Bundy.
Sugar cane shandy.
Yeah.
He loves Bundy when there's nothing else.
Yeah. Oh, obviously. The one Bundy I can drink is that small batch.
Yeah, see, if you added that one in there, I reckon that would be so Bundy makes small batch, but they're in particular they're vintage barrel. So small batch, but vintage barrel. That's I think it's aged in port barrels.
Oh, stop it!
And it's primo. It's like my favorite, I reckon. So if that was in there, Kevin, then I'd probably pick that one. Yeah. But seeing as it's not, I reckon Captain Morgan's what we drink now. Like, well,
it's
what
our
I drink
staple.
now.
Yeah,
that's,
we did have a bottle of Kraken.
And
had it. Yeah, we drank the Kraken, then we drank Morgan.
Yeah. Which I don't.
That was Australia Day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to the previous question about how many beers can have. Was we probably drank a carton each, and then between the three of us, we had a bottle of Kraken, then a bottle of Captain Morgan. Yeah. Yeah.
And then probably give Normie's port a touch up too, did we?
Yeah, I reckon. Sorry, Normie. Sailor Jerry.
Love it.
Yeah, I've only had it once, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was awesome. But it's in the same category, like, because Bundy's not in the same category as the other three.
Yeah. Well,
they're like the Jamaican style.
Yeah,
or
spice drums.
Spice drum. Yeah. Kraken's awesome. Yeah. Kevin, I'd go Kraken, I reckon. Even though Captain Morgan's my staple, Kraken would be like a special occasion drink.
Yeah. Kraken. I'll tell you where I drank a fair bit of Kraken was in Amsterdam, because it was so cheap. It was like the cheapest rum I could find there.
Cheap.
So yeah, Kraken was cheap. It was way cheap than anything else I could find. And obviously you can't buy Bundy. You can't buy Bundy outside of Australia generally. So yeah, I was drinking, and that's what happened. That's why I started drinking Captain Morgan, because when I was going overseas, like I went to Europe and places like that, and you can't buy Bundy, so you drink Captain Morgan. And a mate of ours that has since passed away, he used to drink Captain Morgan, and I used to drink Captain Morgan with him, and he used to make a lot of homebrew as well, which is very similar to Captain Morgan. And then when I went away overseas and I couldn't get Bundy, I'd take Bundy, like you take 2 litres or something to most places. You can take 2 litres. I'd usually take 2 litres of Bundy, and then when that had run out, you'd just jump into some Captain Morgan. But yeah, I think I did a trip in Europe, and I think that's where I started really drinking Captain Morgan. I sort of never sort of stopped. So lost here. Where were we up to? Mikey, is Ash, have you boys done much in the Robinson River?
Yeah, we got that. We did that one.
Hey, Ash and Mikey, how do you guys run your tackle boxes, and what type do you run, and what do you run in them? Okay, so what sort of tackle boxes and what sort of tackle? At the moment, I'm running, and I haven't bought a name brand tackle box for forever. I can't remember the last one I bought. I've bought plenty of tackle bags, expensive ones, cheap ones. Not my favorite. Hard tackle boxes. They all, like, because if you use them fairly heavily, and in and out of boats and stuff, and you use them all the time, like they almost always seem to bloody break on me. So, and I'm pretty hard on the gear. So at the moment, I'm running a Yeti Go box. So ridiculous expensive for a piece of molded plastic, but they are super durable.
It's got a little tray in the top that you can lift out to access the bottom.
Yeah. It's got a little soft zip part at the back, which I put all my soft plastics and stuff in. But yeah, that's what I'm running at the moment, and I can fit 3 of my jabbers rods, I think. Yeah, 3 of my jabbers rods, 3 reels, everything that I need, all my tackle. Usually, so inside I usually have a few different types of leader, like 40 pound, 50 pound, 60 pound, maybe 80 pound.
Yep, same.
I run a little tray with a heap of sinkers, a little tray with a heap of hooks, a few different sizes usually. Another little tray with jig heads. In the back, I run a heap of different types of soft plastics. I was lucky enough to get some hot off the press from MikeyCunninghamFishing.com here. The Barramundi Party Mix.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some of them in there. And then, I've usually just got, honestly, I just use if hopefully Kate doesn't listen to this, the missus, I usually try and steal a little Tupperware containers and then put the hard bodies and stuff in there so they don't get all mixed up, and then usually I run like honestly, I don't have, like, you look at so many tackle boxes and people have got 200 lures in there.
Yeah.
Guaranteed 195 of them they're not going to use.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, if they were here like me, they'd all the trebles would be rusted, the O-rings would be rusted before you use them. I have half a dozen go-to ones that I use, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
So
well, those 2 boxes out there, the big plastic boxes, they're all full of lures.
Yeah.
I haven't opened those boxes in 2 years.
Yeah.
I did mention I worked at BCF for anyway.
Still looking for him.
Yeah, I don't run a tackle box either. I run more like tackle trays. So some of them are literally like from Bunnings containers that you'd put different size screws in, for example, like just plain old ones like that. You can get waterproof ones from Bunnings as well. I also have some, is it Plano? Is that the brand?
Yep.
Yeah, Plano ones, a bit taller, sort of about that sort of size. So I have one, I literally, all the dividers in it, I just took the dividers out, and one of them, for example, I've got all my leaders in there, just piled up in there, and so that's my leader box. Then I've got, a sinkers one, and that's more of a Bunnings style one, and just got different size sinkers, another hooks one. So yeah, so sometimes I won't even have if we're going out lure fishing, I'll just take like one tray of lures. That's it. Oh, the leader and lures. That's it. There's things like your lip grips and pliers and knives and that, they just live in the boat anyway.
Yeah.
For me. So
me
there's
too, mostly.
So there's no tackle box. Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got here, mate?
It's the same sort of subject here from Glenn McKay. What's your go-to knot for braid and leader? I saw the word leader and I thought that's what we were just talking about. And do you guys ever... did you ever film how Ash set up his Yeti Go box? Couldn't find it, because we did talk about it one time. We were going to do a little short video.
Sorry, mate.
sorry, Glenn. He'll do it
tomorrow.
Never. But yeah, he'll get around to it. He will eventually. Go-to knot for braid to leader. Well, we actually did we were involved in a live stream that Snaggerbarra did maybe a week ago. Yeah. And he was showing his FG knot and stuff like that. And I'll just start. I do a Albright knot to tie a braid to leader, and that's just what I learnt, and that's just what I've always done. I've never gone ahead and just learnt how to do the FG knot. If I knew how to do it, I probably would do it. But because I'm just so comfortable with my Albright, it works. I'm happy with it. That's what I do. Ash.
Oh, mate, I do the FG knot pretty much for everything these days. Having said that, it does depend on what you're doing. So the FG knot is great for a few reasons. One, because you get almost 100% like knot strength. So you're not reducing the breaking strain of your line or your leader. That's a good thing about it. Is the most important thing though is that if you're using rods with micro guide, so some of the Jabbers rods that we've got, and not all, but some of the Jabbers rods we've got have really small guides on them, which make them perfect for travel rods, because the guides don't stick out, they don't break as easy, don't take up as much room. They're a lot nicer to use, I think, personally. But you need to run an FG knot, because if you run an Albright, especially if you're using like a heavier leader, say you're running 50 or 60 pound leader, you won't get the leader back in through the guides, so you've either got to run real short leader and not wind it on, or you've got to tie an FG knot. So that's where that comes in handy. Having said that, doing charters, I used to do a quick spider hitch. So almost just a basic overhand knot where you run the line back through the loop half a dozen times, and then I'd connect I'll do that on the braid, and then I'd connect the leader with a GT twist. So that's what I used to run on the charter boat, because what I'd do is I'd have like a dog clip hanging up off the roof of the canopy, and I'd have like 100 leaders already made up, so like paternoster rigs already made up, and I just hang them all up on that clip. So if somebody got busted off or bitten off by a shark or whatever, I could just grab the end of the line, cut it off, grab a new leader and it'd take me 30 seconds to tie a new rig on. And then all I'd have to do was just, using snapper lead and like a 5060 beaked hook, it'd take me 30 seconds to re-rig a rod. So I'd have it all sort of pre-rigged.
Awesome.
Jack Christensen, on average, how much more expensive is fuel and beer up there compared to coastal Queensland? I've got no idea what the price of fuel or beer is in coastal Queensland. I can tell you a 30-pack of Super Crisp is about, generally speaking, about $65, I reckon. Thereabouts. If you're from Darwin. You can't buy takeaways here. Prices at the bar here compared to most places I've been to are pretty good though.
Yeah, well, we just had a price rise maybe 3 or 4 days ago at the pub here, and during happy hour, a schooner of northern blackfish is $6.50. So,
yeah,
like,
so if you go out in Darwin, you're looking at, like most places, I'd say anywhere from $8 to $12 for a schooner.
Yeah, so we're pretty good here.
Yeah,
and fuel, obviously, we're a lot further out. Yeah, so the price of fuel will be more expensive than Darwin.
Yeah, generally speaking,
it's not crazy though.
No, it's not. No, definitely not. It's not like you'll see images online on social media and stuff from places in like Arnhem Land and like some island communities and stuff where you're looking at $3-4 a litre for fuel. That's not here. That's because those places are extremely remote. There's no bitumen road there or no road at all. It's got to be, fuel has to be barged around. So if you're somewhere like, say, Gapawiak, for example, or Lake Avella, like the fuel there is going to be ridiculously more expensive than what it is anywhere in most places, because the fuel has to be taken by barge from Darwin. So it's got to be bought at the terminal gate price in Darwin, then barged 700-800 kilometres each way around the coast, and then trucked from the barge to the fuel tanks, and then So some places are going to be ridiculously expensive. Not here though. All service stations have to disclose their Bowser price on the app. There's I think it's called NT Fuel Mate. All service stations in the Northern Territory have to advertise if they change their price. So if you go look at, just Google NT Fuel Mate, and you can look at either a map or put in the postcode, and you can see the price of fuel everywhere in the Northern Territory.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah,
perfect. Craig Hucks, we had a question that you read out from Craig Hucks, but this is a different one. What is the best route out of the Carrington to West Island?
That's not how I thought that question was going.
What's that?
That's not how I thought that question was going.
The best.
I thought we got to keep it PG, fellas.
No. What's the best way out of the Carrington to West Island at low tide?
Oh, I go at the
Davies.
If you well, it depends where you're going. If you're going to the top of West Island, then you go straight at the Carrington. But if it's low tide, or if you want to go to, like the bottom of West Island, or if you want to go to the west, like up towards the Roper Way or Bing Bong or Mule Creek, then definitely 100% you go out past like the Crabbers Huts, so out the Davies, and then out the Tulwalla Creek channel. Yeah,
and you can get out at low tide. It obviously
both ways.
It is a narrow channel in some parts, and so just watch out for those mud flats.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck out there. Jack Christensen, would you blokes ever consider doing a wide bream fishing hat?
Yes.
Yes.
It's just it's not on the radar at the moment, but obviously would love to conquer the world with all sorts of cool stuff like that.
Peter Thorncroft, any chance of making up a map with the names of places on it? I've been up there 8 years now and mostly take the houseboat down Carrington Channel and fish the islands if the weather suits. I'm familiar with the islands in some places, but I have mates that go the other way and talk about Sharkers and the Twins, and I have no idea where they are. Okay. The servo here sells like like a paper chart, like an A3 paper chart, like a Messel. I think it's called a Messel's chart. So like a hand drawn chart.
You keep talking, I need to pee again.
And those, those have most of the place names on them, I reckon. But yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm hearing you, mate. There's a lot of places that, there's a lot of places, a lot of different place names, and then a lot of places have multiple names as well. So if you're talking to like tourists have some names for some creeks, and then like like the crabbers will use completely different names. So yeah, it's it's confusing for me too, mate. Sometimes to be completely honest.
But yeah, Ash, you do that one. This last question here, that'll be the last one.
Oh, look out. Hey, g'day, guys. Love the podcast. And Mikey, I love watching your videos, mate. Awesome work.
Thanks, Philip.
I am coming up to King Ash Bay towards the day after Anzac Day. As I'm a veteran and never miss our local dawn service or march here in Townsville, and was wondering if you could do a bit of a talk about travelling down the river and getting out the front, with areas to look out for or take caution, such as rock bars and sandbanks, etc. I know you did a bit of a video about this a few years ago, Mikey, but I don't know if things have changed at all. I'm planning on maybe doing an overnighter out to the islands while I'm there, planning on being a KAB for about 12 days and really exploring the area by boat. It sounds like a good trip, man. Yeah. So it all depends. There's 1,000 different ways you can get out to the coast. Like we are a true sort of, it's a delta system. So it's the MacArthur splits into MacArthur and Carrington, and then the MacArthur to the Crooked, and the Carrington to the Davies, and the Kellys,
the Kellys, the Chadwick, the Rutherford, the
you got Anna branches and
places. So it splits. At the further down you get, the more creeks and that there are.
So I'll run through as quickly as possible.
Go the MacArthur.
Okay. The MacArthur, easiest one to go down. So if someone's hiring a boat from outside and they've never been here before, they want to go to the mouth somewhere, I say go to the MacArthur. It's the easiest one. So you go the rock bar directly opposite King Ash Bay here at the front of King Ash. It's marked with channel markers. Once you get down past there, you get down the intersection, turn right. You can pretty well stick to the middle of the river. Common sense prevails most of the time, and you'll get down to the mouth without any dramas, really.
Yeah. Once you're on the MacArthur, like that, there's no rock bars. There's no. Yeah.
Once you're through the main rock bar here.
Yeah.
Having said that, if you go upstream, there's plenty of rock bars, so be careful doing that.
Yeah.
But heading down to the mouth, there's almost nothing to
really worry about.
There's no
special crossovers or anything like that.
The Crooked. Next easiest one, there's a couple of sections which do get a little bit shallow in the creek, and it is narrow in places, and you've got to be a little bit half careful, but it's again...
there's one big wide turn. You have to go really wide. Is it?
Yeah. There's a big, but it's, again, common sense. If it's low tide, you can sort of see it. If it's half tide, the tide's running out, then if common sense, you stick to the deep bank. You don't cut any corners. So, anyone that's owned a boat and done a bit of traveling by boat will know what I mean when I say stick to the outside bend. So to the deep bank.
Go the long way. Yeah.
Go the long way. The Carrington has a big crossover, or a couple of crossovers in it. It has some rocks in it. It's nowhere near as scary as some people make it out to be. I used to hate it. Now I love it. It's my favourite one. It's the quickest. If you're going out to the islands, it's the fastest way to get to the islands.
Yeah.
So I'd go the Carrington. If you're not sure, go slow. That's my number one thing from anything is, if you're not sure, take it easy. Everyone's running a GPS usually these days, unless you're like me and you love raw dogging it and not having anything. But no, if you're going down there, you just take it easy and make yourself a track on your GPS so you can follow it on the way home. I suppose the wheels really fall off in the dry season when it's a real foggy morning and you can't see the front of your boat. That's when it becomes difficult. Doesn't matter where you go.
And I absolutely hate that people just trust their sounder
and just follow it. Yeah,
they'll literally stare at the screen because you can't see more than 6 meters in front of you. So yeah, I hate it because if someone stopped in front of you, you will not see them.
Or you've got Mad Mullet coming the other way with a load of crabs early in the morning, late for the truck.
Plausible.
Yeah. So you got to be real careful.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, far out. I hope that answered your questions, folks. That was a bit of a session there.
Yeah, I think we just need to do a whole episode just on questions.
Yeah.
Well, we pretty much did.
Yeah, we just did. Yeah. Well, it's good that we get the information out there because obviously all you guys you want to know about the area and what's going on. But yeah, so we're going to move straight on to song nominations for our Golf Mud Crabbers playlist that's on Spotify. So you can go on there and follow that playlist, download it to your phone. So I think we worked out there's over 8 hours of music in there now. So
573 songs.
There you go. So it's we'll give it not a few more weeks and it'll be a trip to Darwin.
Oh, Judah, that's not the right one. Sorry, that's my like songs, not their playlist. I was wondering how they got so many, but yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Disregard.
But it is 8 hours though.
Yeah, it's good playlist. I got two.
Yep.
First one, Cody Johnson. He's going to headline CMC Rocks this year.
Oh yeah,
down at Willowbank. His title. How do you describe it? Like his album title song or?
Yeah. The title track.
Yeah, the title. That's what I was looking for. The title track is Leather. So I'm going to go that one. And then if you don't like Garth Brooks, then
Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe. But he's a bit of a clown because he's not on Spotify, but there are quite a few different covers and stuff. And we've got, I think it's the same mob that cover God's Country, which is a Blake Shelton song.
Yeah.
But was actually written by Hardy.
Well, got that song I nominate is in the playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I nominated that by Blake Shelton, yeah.
And it's not the Blake Shelton version that's in there. It's the State of Mind version, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got one, The Thunder Rolls, which is a Garth Brooks song. And it's I don't know. It's a ripper song, I reckon.
It's a banger.
And if the Garth Brooks version was available on Spotify, I'd put that on there. But yeah,
cool. I'm going to go 3.
Whoa.
Big
9 hours of music.
Aaron Lewis, Country Boy is the name of the song, and this song fits the playlist perfectly. And Aaron Lewis is actually he's a country artist now, but back in the late 90s, early 2000s, he was the lead singer of a band called Stained, like an alternative rock band. And I'm going to nominate 2 songs from Stained, which they're not wobbly. They do fit in the playlist perfect, and you'll know both of them. It's Been a While and Outside by Stained with Aaron Lewis as the lead singer, which was the other song, which was called Country Boy. So yeah, I used to love Stained. Anyway, so to hear him as a country artist now, yeah, it's awesome. Anyway,
perfect. Everyone's going. Even Beyonce's going country, mate. It's a thing. Lainey Wilson wrote a song about it. Country's cool again, mate. I heard her sing it for the first time in public at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville about this time last year. And he actually would have been like almost 365 days ago. Almost to the day.
Yeah, awesome.
True story though. Country's cool again, kids.
Oh, it was never not cool.
Send it.
Yeah. All right, let's shut it down, Bruss.
Shut it down, Bruss. Let's get the out of here. Oh, shit.
Oh, look at that. Oh, beauty.
Guides in the Gulf.